Crisp applause sounded, and everyone looked in the direction of Chu Qingcheng. Chu Qingcheng smiled slightly, glanced at the poison hand Persian king indifferently, and said lightly, "Today is the opportunity for the 7 families to gather together. There is one thing in this seat that everyone wants to be a witness with that." She stared closely at the poison hand Persian king and her eyes suddenly became cold. "Yan Song, your grievances with our Huayu building should be broken today, hehe. What kind of grievance does the old man have with you at Huayu Lao, and the old man doesn't understand it? Could it be because the old man doesn't invite you?" The poisonous medicine king gently stroked his beard and shook his head and smiled. With a slight squint, Chu Qingcheng said coldly, "Yan Song, you don't have to be confused. Today there are 7 elders present, and there are 2 emperors of the imperial gates as witnesses. You can't allow you to quibble. Handed over the antidote, and today I want to leave here alive." Chu Qingcheng's words just fell, and the blue and white landlord and the peony landlord also stood up together. The whole body was in full swing, and there was a posture of desperate battle. Everyone present at this scene looked at each other, silently, watching the developments. Huayu Lao and Yao Wangdian's grievances have long been known. It was just this time that the Huayu Tower suddenly moved to the rescue of the Emperor Gate, and it was necessary to press the side of the Medicine King Palace. Even the poisonous hand Medicine King. It is estimated that he had to give this face. However, before the 2 sons officially spoke, everyone here still did not dare to speak out. For a while, everyone's eyes did not look at Chu Qingcheng, nor the poison hand Medicine King, but instead looked in the direction of Emperor Pu Qingyan. Because everyone knows that he is the key person leading this matter. Which one is right? Which one is successful or not, is all in his words. His brow shook. Wang Pu Qingyan looked at the poison hand Medicine King and chuckled, "Hehe. Elder Yan. If you really poisoned the disciples of Huayu Lao, you may wish to hand over the antidote. It hurts both of them." "Hey, hey." Agongzi said something reasonable with a smile. The poisonous medicine Wang Xianghuang Wang Qingyan clenched his fists, but a pair of evil old eyes were fixed on Chu Qingcheng. "The old man did hurt your landlord, but this antidote. It is impossible to pay. Yan Song, you're so brave that you don't even give the emperor's face. Do you have to take this seat and go to your majesty and let him be a judge before giving up?" Chu Qingcheng exasperated and shouted. But Emperor Putin Qingyan waved his hand in a hurry, persuading your majesty is in charge of everything. How can you take care of the business of our 7 families? Last time, Qianlong Pavilion and Ghost Valley were not beaten by His Majesty because of the wind coming to the city 50 big plates. No one did not get the benefit, not to mention, and the other 5 were also warned again. Instead, the wind was turned into a restricted area, and no one from the 7 families could step in. Emperor Pu Qingyan seemed to mean something. When he said this, the elders of Long Jiu and Yao Wugu seemed to think of their previous grudges and glared at each other. Zhuo Fan sneered under his heart, and already understood his intentions. If the Emperor Gate really meant to unify the 7 families, then he had to firmly control the affairs of the 7 families in his own hands. If there were any grudges between the 7 families, they would go to the emperor to comment. Isn't he the head of the 7 families? Seizing power quickly. It seems that this Emperor Gate really has this ambition. Zhuo Fan touched his nose, his eyes gleaming coldly. Taking a deep breath, Chu Qingcheng calmed down with anger in his heart, and said lightly, "Qingyan, what you said is reasonable, but this old thief, leave it to me." Waiting for Chu Qingcheng to continue, Wang Pu Qingyan waved his hand and looked at the poisonous medicine king. "Elder Yan, don't even give this face. Do you not put the emperor's door in your eyes or your son in your eyes?" Hehe. The second son misunderstood. It is really not the antidote. The poison hand medicine king clenched his fists again and snorted, "Who was stolen and returned to a group of thieves." "Oh, how do you say this?" Wang Pu Qingyan raised his eyebrows. Said intentionally. The corner of his mouth slightly tilted, and the poisonous hand Medicine King squinted towards Chu Qingcheng, and Z laughed out loudly. Lord Master Chu. You should not forget Chu Qingcheng's imp. Suddenly shocked, a little tear appeared in Chu Qingcheng's eyes, his fists clenched tightly. The monstrous anger turned into a murderous momentum that could not help but radiate out. Everyone present was not surprised. This was the first time they saw that Chu Qingcheng couldn't control his emotions. With a chuckle, the Poison Hand Medicine King went on to say they used to send Chu Qingchen, the devil in Huailao, to visit the old man's door. The old man looked at him smartly and taught him his skills. As a result, he stole the colorful Yunluo, the medicine prescription. Finally died because of its poor strength and refining failure. Many landlords were also poisoned. Can this blame the old man? Yeah, he is my brother. He could have inherited the master's mantle. But unfortunately he didn't understand the mercy, and he was arrogant. He thought that he could succeed in refining by himself. Finally, he lost his life and couldn't blame others. At this time, Yan Fu also ridiculed and said, my brother, the only thing I admire is his alchemy talent. As for the character, it is too arrogant, and finally good intentions to do bad things, harming the entire Huayu building. Say, don't do it yourself. Shut up.